Morning, everyone. You ready for the exercise portion of this? I'm not doing it. My name is Toni Theisen, and I'm the 2009 National Language Teacher of the Year. And I'm going to talk to you about some discoveries that I've made. Talking a little bit about students creating their own personal global journeys. How many of you have done a study abroad? It was probably one of the most memorable times ever. I mean, I did my study abroad in 1971. And I remember so many things. They're as alive as anything. And when I think about that, I think about the impact. But then I think, what is that like now? Certainly things have changed, and there are so many more opportunities. So I wanted to find out. And of course, a little bit like Christine was talking about, what you gain from study abroad or connections with immersion or whatever, the tolerance, the empathy, the appreciation, and the curiosity. And in an ever increasing global society, our students have so many more opportunities to be part of the world, because we have so many opportunities in our classrooms to connect them to the world. So what is that implication in this ever-changing global society? I want you to think a little bit about this. I'm going to read this piece to it. I know you could this, but this is really powerful. In an ever-increasing global society, graduates of our school will sell to the world, buy from the world, work for international companies, share and compete with people from other countries, manage employees from other cultures, collaborate with people all over the world, and solve global problems. That's a little bit more than when I thought about it when I did my study abroad. So when I think about how powerful of a statement it is and the responsibility that I have, what other things should I need to know? I know that they're also going to volunteer. Listen to your students, how much they volunteer in different ways. All over the planet, and they find new ways to make the planet a better place for all. It seems that that is a really important goal for so many of them. And for sure, more will be risk takers and work and travel and learn in many unique ways. More than maybe the really traditional type of study abroad that I had. So this idea of equipping our students with specific skills of using the language, et cetera, is really important in a job market in the global arena. But cultivating their abilities to effectively share those ideas and communicate across cultures is critical. Look at our new can-do statements with the interculturality, when you're talking about investigate and interact. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Study Abroad 3.0, going to international universities, gap years revisited, and this study work abroad, one of the many organizations called We Roam. There's a study that just came out recently, like 2 weeks ago, from the Cooperation of Generation of Study Abroad. Wonderful statistics. You might need this when we're doing all of our advocacy. They have lots of things in there about gaining an employment edge. Here is something interesting. You thought people were going to study abroad because they were going to work with language and culture? Look at that. 24% of the top major fields of study of U.S. students abroad are for STEM. What the heck, are we not really embracing that? Look at that, and language study is only 8%. 8%. Among the findings, take a look at this. We understand that long periods of study abroad have a high impact, but you're looking not only at getting a job, but progressing in the job and promotion. And STEM majors highly value the gains made in skills outside of their major. In fact, look at this statistic. Those science majors, if they do a study abroad, not in science or their contact area, 47% reported that their study abroad contributed to the job offer, but only 28% if they went to a study abroad in the science field. So what they were gaining was that interculturality piece, the other things, the soft skills that many of our employers are looking for. This may not be the best slide to look at, but if you look at some of the competencies, there are interpersonal competencies and cognitive competencies. This is all in that report. Look at what they gain for the intercultural skills. That's 76%. And things like flexibility, self-awareness, tolerance for ambiguity. That's probably one of the best things we teach. That flexibility and like, I don't know what's going to happen. And that's hard for a lot of people to accept, but if you can get to the point that they feel that way and move on, that's wonderful. And look at the cognitive skills. Curiosity, 74%. Isn't that remarkable? I love that. But even if you look at the bottom, it's real low, like 5.4% for their technical skills. You got to get out to the cafes more or whatever. Okay. So after we look at the study abroad, of which there are so many different opportunities, there are internships, traditional ones, working in places we would never think of. The next phenomena is this. Americans are choosing international universities at a rapid rate. They are bypassing American unis. They're not doing a study abroad connected with that. They're just going. My accountant says, my daughter decided to go to Norway to study human resources. I said, why? He goes, I don't know. But part of that has to do with the enormous debt that students have to accrue. And universities and other places are free or very reasonable, and they do have a lot of classes in English that they can work with. As a former student of mine, he spent 1 year at the university. He was always one of those free roamer thinkers, but his dad wanted him to be an accountant, so he's off to the university, even though he traveled with me. And he called me back in the middle of his freshman year at the university. He goes, can I talk to you? I said, well, sure. You know you graduated, right? Yes. He goes, I want to study in Poland. How do I tell my parents? I said, well, first of all, you are a young adult. Go for it. And your father loves spreadsheets, so make one. So he did, and he explained, and one of the reasons why he wanted to do it, it wasn't satisfying at the university. He has a Polish background, and he wanted to explore that. He says, if I spend 3 years in Poland at a university, not only can I get the degree I want and the experience, I can also start to apply for Polish citizenship. So I'll have 2 citizenships, and I'll be more global. So that is an amazing piece. And you can see some of these types of tuition. You can study this and work with this, and it's an amazing thing, that the idea and the statistics around this. Look at the countries they're going to. And they're going because they're interested in other cultures. They want to take that risk. They want to try something new. This comes from a Wall Street report, Wall Street Journal. And from the universities, there's the gap year. Now, you may think of the gap year like I did for a long time. That's that cute little au pair job outside of Paris with somebody who's real rich who lives in a chateau here and has a house in Monaco. Right, no. It's way beyond that. Whether they take their gap year in high school, after high school, or between someplace within college, there is a blooming industry of this. There are gap year fairs, gap year organizations. Kids are going out in the world, and what they are doing is like not just the cute little au pair piece. They're hanging out with orangutans in Madagascar. They're teaching students in Morocco. They're farming in South Africa. And they want these world experiences. They just, because they've heard so many of us say, get out in the world. And my gosh, they're getting out in the world more than we ever thought. And you have to think a little bit of your influence. We're the ones going, go, get out of town. You can come back, but get out of town. So if you take a look at some of the motivation, some of it is just to try something new. 85% of it is they want to experience a new culture. And 41% is they want to try a new language. Maybe it's the language they had with you, but maybe they want to try another one. I think that's great. So all this motivation is guiding you to think, what am I going to do? Again, some of the things that get out of it, not the best, but you can find this. But look at the blue is personal. I developed more confidence in myself. How wonderful. And we have people that go out in the world in the next generation to solve our world problems and work. We need that. We need that so much. Look where they're going. Look where they're going. They're just not going to France to babysit some kids. They're doing everything. So, some of the organizations that support this, you can look at those. America Gap Year Associations. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing the different types of things that are available. Are you excited? Now, here's another piece. After maybe they've gone through the university and you have a degree, that wanderlust is still there. They want to go out and be part of the world. This is now an organization I found out of many, which is a professional remote work program. Think of it as a youth hostel experience, a little bit more shishi. So what happens is young adults or anybody that wants to can go to these workspaces that are all over the world. They can remotely work. They can work with someone else, or there's a room full of them that they just are meeting. This person works here, this person works here. They're all international, and they all have their own little private room, you know, completely set up for Wi-Fi and all the things that they need to work out. And then they cook together, they eat together, and it's for a month long. And they go and they learn about working in these spaces so they can still do their job that they had at home. But here it is. I'm gaining that international experience, which is going to help them probably for those promotions and progressions. So you can see, talking a little bit about workspaces and accommodations, this is an organization called We Roam. And here's some of the places they are. They're starting to build up. And there are many, many more organizations like this. We Roam. So what are the implications for us? Whoa, step back and think. Maybe in your classes when you're talking about studying abroad, expand that. Have them go explore. Take time to look at that. You have a career unit someplace. Or even in that little unit in level 1, what are we going to be when we grow up? You know, firemen and policemen are all good, but I want to go out in the world. So let them explore and find some different ways to do this. How do you structure some of your interpersonal, presentational, and interpretive activities that help them reach out to know, let them know that this is out there? And there are so many ways that they can go and it won't cost them very much. Or sometimes free, because there's all kinds of organizations with scholarships and activities. And so I got to think differently about how I work and push the kids out into the world. And I think that's one of the major implications of that. And where am I going to get a lot of my information? If you understand that part of this is our new Lead with Language program. Leadwithlanguages.org has all kinds of resources. Go there. See students and young adults talking about their work. There are contests for kids to win, to be able to win a URL pass for a year, to go to these different they will keep coming because there's all kinds of support. It makes me so excited. I want to do a study abroad again. And now that I've kind of recently retired somewhat, maybe I will, because I also found some senior citizen study abroad, and I'm kind of excited. So our language learning offers up a world of opportunities. Remember some of this. Go out and try it. And remember, They are out there creating their own. They just need a little push for you. So thank you very much. Thank you.